Everyone is telling you to learn AI, but they are wrong. Is it because that AI is not important anymore? No, it's simply because that learning AI isn't the skill that's going to separate you from your competition in 12 months and beyond. If you're a small business owner who's tried AI and just gave up, it is definitely not your fault because nobody actually told you the real skill that you need. I just spent an hour with Zvonimir, the founder of Pazi AI, which is backed by Y Combinator. His company has 4 developers who haven't written a single line of code in 6 months. It is not that they are better engineers than you, they just figure out the one skill that is actually more important, and it is not prompting. Let's think of it like this. Every small business owners I know has tried ChatGPT, tried to build some kind of AI thing for their business and quit within 2 weeks. You probably tried it too and maybe walked away thinking maybe this whole AI thing isn't ready, or maybe you're not smart enough for it. But actually neither of those is true. Zvonimir said something on our call that I haven't stopped thinking about lately. In plain English, the AI is fine. They are capable. It can do the work properly. The problem is that humans do not know what to ask it to do. That is the gap we need to bridge together today. I want to introduce you to what's changed and why most people haven't caught up yet. The old way of running a business was very simple. You had work, you hire people to do that work. The more work you had, the more people you hire to scale it, right? That's been the model for about hundreds of years, but the new model flips those parts. AI agents do the operations and humans just simply set the direction. I know that sounds a little bit cheesy and heckline, so let me tell you something. Zvonimir's company has 4 developers who haven't written code in over 6 months. Instead, they review pull requests, set the architecture, and talk to the agents who then write the code to execute that. 7 out of 10 of those pull requests merge fully autonomously with no human touching the code at all. That's crazy. This is not the future of AI that people keep mentioning over and over. This is today inside a real company with real customer shipping a real product. My take is very simple on this one. If a YC backed AI company already runs this way, the AI won't affect my business argument is pretty much done and over. The only question left is when it hits your industry and what you will do about it. Zvonimir said something else on the call that I want you to hear directly.
Being a manager, and a manager will say, hey, why don't you go off and explore how a pivot would look like? Do a detailed analysis of the previous use cases of these types of industries and pivots that happen, and then the agent will come back a few hours later to tell you, hey, these are the upsides, downsides, what do you want to do? And then the human will say, hey, let's go down this direction or that direction. So I think everyone should have this frame of thinking. AI will not be taking jobs, but it will be taking on operations.
Okay, so you got a promotion. You didn't really ask for it, but you don't get to decline it. The only thing you get to decide is whether you show up prepared. So you might be there sitting thinking that, fine, but I'm not really running a tech company. I run a dental practice. I'm a local business owner. I run a local law firm, a cleaning business, etc. I sell coaching. I have 1 employee or 0 employees, right? What does this actually look like for me? And that is the right question to ask because the manager mindset breaks down into 4 moves here. Anyone can do them. You don't need to be really technical and you don't need to code at all. You just need to know what the moves are. All right, so the first move is scoping the work. This is where most people fail before they even start. Think of it like hiring someone. If you hired an assistant for your company tomorrow and told them, hey, help me with my business, they would be obviously just useless on day one because it is not because they are just bad at it. It's that you didn't really give them context of what your business is about, right? So to make sure an assistant can do his job properly, you got to provide either SOP, standard operating procedures, or handoff documents to train your employee. And that same goes for AI. It is very capable, but in its raw form, it's just not useful at all beyond providing general information that's out there. So most people talk to AI the exact same way. They open ChatGPT or Claude, Gemini, and just type, hey, help me grow my business. And when the output is just too generic, they start blaming the AI. I want you to know that the agent is only as good as the job you handed it. I'm sure you've heard about this one, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Zvonimir told me the same exact thing in plain English. Humans, we do not know what to ask. And that is the real bottleneck here. Not the model, not the tool. It's the task, the business context. So the first move that you want to do is pick 1 bottleneck, not 10, just 1, and identify from it the thing that is draining your week. Maybe for a dentist, there might be a no-show, right? Follow-ups. And for a lawyer, it could be email triaging, intaking, email inbox management. And for you, maybe it's your email is just too messy that never empties. And I want to be transparent here before we go further. Setting these up isn't zero effort here. You'll probably touch Google Cloud to connect your Gmail or your YouTube. However, the agent can walk you through it. But if you're allergic to consoles, that's the one speed bump you should know about upfront. Now, the second move here is once you know the job, the second move is to delegate it. This is where it gets different from anything you've tried before because you don't tell the agent the steps of what to do, you tell it the goal of it. So, or better yet, you can describe your current steps and discuss them with the agents to make them much better or trying to find the gaps that you have missed. This is actually one of the features on Pazi that stood out for me. They call it goals, and you tell the agent, give me 10 new customers a day, or in my case, get me to 50,000 YouTube subscribers in 30 days, and it treats that like a target it owns. I tried it myself on a call with Zvonimir. The moment I set the goal, the agent did 3 things. It analyzed my current channel, it built its own schedule of check-ins, it came back with 2 concrete next moves based on what my data actually showed. And that schedule part is the piece that really is important. I think the agent builds its own calendar to chase the goal. Daily subscriber pulse check, weekly content audit, you don't schedule those, it does it for you. That's what separates an agent from a chatbot. When something doesn't work, agent will try to find other ways, a workaround to make that work. And Zvonimir said something on the call that made this click for me, because if you hire someone, you don't hire them to be a robot you give tasks to. You give them ownership of an outcome. A good employee owns a result. A bad one waits for instructions. The goal feature is what turns an agent into a good employee here. Anyway, the point here is you're not really writing prompts here, you're setting a target. It's the same way you would tell a sales manager or any kind of manager, like, I need you to hit quota this month, and how they get there is basically their job. And that's the power of AI agents we're talking about. When it hits a wall, it'll try to find a new way to get the job done for you over and over until it breaks or succeeds. Now, the third move here is to review it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you because it's the move most people skip, I think, and it's why their agents go off the rails. You already review the agent's drafts. At first, you read every single output before it goes out, whether it's email drafts, Google review replies, lead research. You just gotta be able to trust your AI agents to an extent where you can just let them handle the things you initially needed to review before approval. Just like employee, you cannot really trust somebody on your team at first when they first come in. It takes time for the trust to build, and then you can let them do something on their own. Zvonimir actually recommended this directly. He said even for his own email inbox, he still approves every delete before it happens. So he's the founder of the company. If he still reviews, maybe you should too. And over time, as you trust the agent's judgment, you can loosen that approval gate. Low stakes stuff goes to auto, while high stakes stuff stays in your queue. That's how a real manager runs a real team here. The last move here is to iterate. What worked this week? What did not? Tell the agent because it remembers it. This is where AI agents stop feeling like a tool anymore and start feeling like a good employee, actual human-like. You correct them once and they adjust. You tell them your Tuesday is meeting heavy and they stop scheduling discovery calls on Tuesday. You tell them your voice is more direct and less formal, and the draft will ship. And let me just say this plainly, if you're already using ChatGPT or Claude for one-off questions and you're happy with that, good for you, that's great. You can just keep doing that. Nothing I'm saying invalidates that, but if you want the AI to actually run operations in your business, one-off prompts probably not gonna get you there. You need something that remembers. That's the jump from chatbots to agents. And it's also the jump from doer to manager. By the way, Pazi is just one way of doing it. Zvonimir built it on top of OpenClaw, so which is open source. You can absolutely run OpenClaw yourself. I've been running my own setup for months. The trade-off that I can think of is that setting it off as a non-technical person is a huge headache. I've been getting so many messages how to set up OpenClaw and things like that. Why mine's not working, blah, blah, blah. The security alone, even though it got better, it's still in its own rabbit hole. And the ongoing maintenance feels like more work when every OpenClaw update basically breaks your current setup. I guess what Pazi can do for you is it can handle those layers for you. It costs a subscription to run, but the build cost on your end is basically zero. You just click a button and you get an agent. And you can even hook up your own OpenAI subscriptions to use it without spending any credit from Pazi. Okay, let me make this concrete. I'm gonna walk you through 4 businesses. One of these is probably you, probably not, but let's get to it. If you're a dentist or a clinic owner, your agent writes a morning digest, patients coming in today, any no-shows from yesterday, an open slots that could be filled. It drafts follow-up emails to the no-shows for you to approve and send. And for lawyer and accountant, your agent triage the inbox. Client emails get flagged and prioritized. Intake requests get sorted by practice area. Overdue follow-ups get drafted and put it in your queue. Or if you're involved in any regulated work like escrow or any financial related work, your agent drafts status updates. It can draft things for you. It does not send them. You read, edit, and send them yourself. Just the final approval should be by you. It also tracks which files are waiting on which signature and can remind you on that. And for solopreneurs and creators like me, your agent, our agent, researches leads and it reads our email, client transcription calls, and turns that questions into blog posts or social content. It's not any single agent doing its job. It's the agents talking to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop explaining and just show you what this looks like in my actual business right now. I have all 4 of my agents wired up inside my Slack. I tested WhatsApp, I tested Telegram, Slack, which is wins by a mile. It's designed for collaboration, right? It's the only interface where you actually see the agents talking to each other in real time in the same channel. Plus the free plan is enough for solo operators or a small team. It costs you nothing at all. And if you hire someone later, they drop in the same workspace and work from there and interact with your agent. So I run this channel DoMade. Every week I publish a video. The 24 hours after a video goes live is the probably most important window for me. That is when the comments flood in, the emails pick up, the sponsor inquiries land, and the next content opportunity hides inside all of it in there. You know, it used to take me half a day or probably more to process it. And here's how my 4 agents handle it right now. First of all, my common agent has a cron job that checks my channel every hour for a new long form video. Shorts really don't count here. The moment it spots the video, it schedules itself to wake up exactly 24 hours later and go to work. When the 24-hour mark hits, it pulls every comment through the YouTube data API, sorts them into buckets, drafts replies to praise and to any technical questions, and flags out the criticism for me to handle personally. Because criticism is never something I want an agent auto-sending. I want to deal with myself. It extracts the top 5 questions, pulls out the representative quotes, then it starts talking to the rest of the team from there. It pings my inbox agent. Here are the top 10 comments. Have any of them also emailed us in the last 90 days, things like that. The inbox agent cross-references and sends back 2 matches. One is a viewer who emailed me 2 weeks ago asking about local AI for law firms. Then the comment agent pings my content agent. Here's my top 5 questions viewers are asking in the comments. What's the next video? The content agent then takes those 5 questions, pulls related themes from recent email inbox, and drafts 3 video topic briefs, plus this week's LinkedIn promo in my voice. And before the comment agent hands off any commenter as a potential warm lead here, it runs them through a filter. It verifies at least one of 3 things. First of all, do they have 500 or more subscribers on their own channel? Do they have a visible website or GitHub or LinkedIn? Or did their comment include real specificity like a company name or a tool they are using? If none of those checks out, the commenter gets dropped, but I do still check them. It's simply just for me to protective of my time. Before that filter existed, every person who typed "I run a business" got passed to the opportunity agent for research. There's garbage leads clogging the pipeline. Now the agent verifies before handing it off. Now there's a real signal over noise moment that really made me think that this whole AI agents thing is not hype. So with the filter passed, the common agent pings my opportunity agent with the verified list. Opportunity does a light research pass on each, score them against my brand alignment criteria, adds the qualifying ones to Notion warm lead database, and flags any potential sponsor matches. And by the time I sit down with coffee the next morning, I got 4 separate PDF reports waiting for me in my Slack agents report channel. Common report, inbox cross-reference, content briefs, and LinkedIn draft. Opportunity update with qualified leads. Now the video post turned into a reply queue. I approved in 10 minutes, 3 new video topic briefs, a LinkedIn post draft, and a handful of qualified leads I did not have yesterday. I simply approved each step here, but I did not read every comment. I did not write any draft. I did not do any research on my end. I did not cross-reference anything that takes up my time. And that's the wow moment I want to tell you about how these agents are talking to each other. That's exactly what Zvonimir meant when he said the whole point of Pazi AI is the agents talking to each other. One agent is being useful, whereas 4 agents coordinating each other is a small business we're talking about. Well, he told me about one guy who built one of those workflows on his own. It took him 2 days to stitch it together. However, on this platform, it looks like it took me about an hour to make this work. So the build cost is literally just your time. an hour or maybe 2. Now, let's talk about the run cost, because this is the part that honestly surprised me. You know, AI tokens are not free and they're not cheap. If you run a few agents every day, spending $50 or $100 a month in API costs is very normal. Zvonimir told me one of their customers burned $500 in a single week. That's the reality of doing serious work with frontier models, agents talking to each other. And I think what Zvonimir did with his company is what most SaaS companies will not ever do, which is you can plug in your own Codex subscription. Codex is OpenAI's coding tool. If you already pay for it, you can just connect it to this platform and your agents run on that subscription instead of burning Pazi credits. Roughly 10 times more tokens for the same exact money. You know, my take on this one, honestly, you know, most SaaS tools want you to stock on their pricing forever. However, they built a feature that basically helps you stop paying them for tokens. That's kind of a crazy idea. And at the same time, that is not standard. That's the signal about how they are thinking about the business and build a platform people actually want to stay on, not the one they are locked into, which we never want to be part of. Anyway, the point is this: pick one, not 4. Pick the one bottleneck that's draining you, that's been eating your week for the last 3 to 6 months. That is going to be your first agent. And you get that one working properly first, and then you at the next, they start talking to each other, and that is when you really feel that promotion. And here's where I'm going to leave you with. 12 months from now on, every operator in every industry gets the promotion. You don't just get to opt out from it. The agents are coming whether you use them or not. Your competition will use them. Your client expectation will shift around them. The only thing you decide is whether you show up to that promotion already knowing the job. So the job here is scope, delegate, review, iterate. That's it. That's the whole manager mindset. It's the same skill a good project manager has been using in tech companies for 20 plus years. Now, it's the skill every business owner needs from now on. I'm also trying to be a better manager at it, the orchestrator of my own business. And one more thing I want to leave you with is, I don't know if any of you have been in the position of a manager, but from a company perspective, it is not a fun position to be in. You get all the blame all the time. You're always taking that heat, but that only applies when you're working with human beings. AI is not like a human yet. It does not have emotion yet. That being said, being a good manager can mean 2 things here. For humans, being a good manager means being good for a company, but it could be very harsh or hard to deal with from the perspective of employees and team members. And secondly, when you are working with AI agents, however, that layer just simply disappears. So we no longer have to worry about that part. You can just do your own thing. As you probably know, I'm very skeptical when it comes to doing sponsorships. That's why I made a choice to do a podcast with Zvonimir, one-on-one, just him and myself, for him to answer the hard questions that most of us have towards SaaS product. I didn't really hold back, I just took my chances. So if you want to check it out, you can go here to check it out. Anyway, that is all for today. If there's anything that you want me to build or do next, just drop it in the comments, because that's how our channel runs. You ask, I build, we all learn. See you in the next video.